You're very welcome back. Now, from debates in the Dáil to debating on the Gogglebox couch. Later tonight, our next guest will be swapping politics for primetime television.
Hello, Independent TD and Minister of State at the Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine. It is Michael Healy-Rae. Michael, it's lovely to have you here this morning. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Listen, we'll be talking to you. So I can't imagine you sitting down watching telly for the night. I just can't imagine you'll be able to sit in one place at one time. But everyone's talking about the presidential election.
Yes.
Obviously, you are an independent.
Yes.
And Fianna Fáil have finally thrown Jim Gavin into the ring. Your support was thrown behind Heather Humphreys.
Yes. Well, it's good to see the whole thing shape up. At least we have a great idea now of what the line out is going to be. It's going to be difficult for some of the others who want to get going. We have dancers that were interested, we had millionaires, we have all types of, we had a wheelbarrow that was interested. So you would have every type of character coming along saying they wanted to be president. But look, this is serious business. We want somebody who's going to be able to represent us on the national and international stage. We've many serious problems around the world at the moment, politically. And I think having a good, sound, solid person, and many of the people now that are lining up are that way. Yes, I put my weight behind Heather Humphreys very early on at the time, as in a year and a half ago, we discussed it, because it was I actually drew it down to her that she'd be a very good person. I would have liked to have seen a Kerry person in the race in the shape of Sean Kelly, but he ruled himself out. Then he came back in again. And look, what's meant to be is meant to be, I suppose, do you know?
There was some criticism in Kerry that you had supported Heather Humphreys and didn't support Sean Kelly.
But you see, I'll answer that criticism very easy. He went on Radio Kerry, he said that he was out and that he's an excellent MEP. I voted for him for Europe and I wanted him to be there, but he clearly stated that he wasn't running and what I think that, and of course the parliamentary party, they were the people that could have had him if they wanted it. They had the votes. But it would have been great to see a Kerry person in the race and to see a Kerry person being elected, and he would have been a great president. But at the end of the day, they had to be, they have their person picked. And I wish them all good luck.
Well, what do you make of the other side, the Fianna Fáil side? Obviously, Jim Gavin has got the nomination, but Billy Kelleher got 29 votes. People are saying that it might be a bit of a decision on Micheál Martin's leadership there.
Well, look, people will read all these sort of things into it. I'm very good, close friends with Billy. I have been for decades. He is a proven politician at all levels. And for the highest political office in the land, I really think it's important to have held a political office beforehand. I think that should be a strong criteria. But like I say, they're all in the race now anyway. And if anybody else is going to get there, it's going to be difficult to get 4 local authorities to back them. But the main thing is that when this is over, that we have somebody sound, solid, and that knows the political system and is able to get on with people. Because that's what we want. Not a confrontational figure. We want somebody who's solid.
So you'd worry about Jim Gavin in that sense that he doesn't have maybe the political nous for a role like that?
Well, I have to tell you, I'd worry about anybody that doesn't have political experience. You can't, it's like I can't go to your house and wire it or plumb it unless I have experience. I can't just say, I'd like to be a plumber, I'd like to be an electrician. You have to be it. You can't say I want to hold the highest political office in the land unless you've been involved in politics. And to be honest, for a lot of your life, because there's an awful lot of there's training involved in politics, and there's the right way and there's the wrong way. But that's just my personal belief. But what I really want to know is, do the people of Ireland realise we're talking about the presidency of Ireland, which of course is very important. But there's a very important election on this weekend.
There is.
In County Kerry. We're electing a mayor of Cremon. And I believe we're going to be there.
I am going to be there, yes.
That'll tell you how important.
That's very important.
Yes, and
so she's up for election.
No, I'm going to be asking the questions. Hard questions are going to be put to the mayor, the
Mayor of Cremon.
Mayor of Cremon this weekend at
Seafest. So Cremon, outside of Killarglen, has the world stage this weekend.
The Áras of Cremon. What's this? Do they get
I don't
the
know
house
what
on the
they'll
beach?
get. They'll get a pint. They'll get a pint on Brian for free. I'm sure that they will. Let's move on to what's going, because obviously there's been a huge upheaval in your own political life because you have come inside to the government. You're a Minister of State now in the Department of Agriculture. there's more and more reports in regards to climate change and how we're not going to meet net zero, how we're not going to, we're going to blast through our climate targets, and that we're going to suffer very heavy consequences monetarily from Europe. Do you think, because of everything that's happening in the world, let's be honest, we're all very distracted by horrific scenes of war around the world, that things like climate change are taking a back seat?
Oh, absolutely not. And I would argue that to the death, because I'll give you an example.
We're not talking about it. We're not talking about it as much and the impact that we're having on the planet.
Well, I'll give you an example now. Today, myself and Jackie, my son, who's with me, we're visiting local authorities around the country. We have 4 local authorities today. And every local authority has land banks. And land banks that they can use for housing and for other critical infrastructure and all that. But many local authorities have land that is actually going to waste. And what I mean by that is it's doing nothing productive. It can't be used for housing because of its locality and all that, its location. So what we're doing is we're going meeting those people today to see could we convince them to plant trees on it. Planting trees, it's a renewable resource that's very important to us. Remember, if we're going to be building, whether it's 30 or 40 or 50,000 houses a year, we want timber for those roofs and for the construction.
Absolutely, we've got the lowest level of
I don't
forestry
want us in the
Europe.
future to be importing our timber from Scotland or from any other part of the world, because we can grow trees better than anywhere else. We can grow them quickly, we can grow them well. Our sawmills, we have excellent facilities, we have excellent people in the Department of Forestry. And I want to grow that industry. And we are being very successful, because you might know that when I came into this job, and I'm very grateful to have this department and to be working in it along with my colleagues in the Department of Agriculture under our senior minister, Minister Martin Hayden. But what we are doing is, we were hit with a situation where we have 26,000 hectares of timber that was knocked overnight, which is a couple of years of supply. But we're dealing with it, and we're working with the farmers that are involved. Quilter are a great organisation. They're working diligently, and we're supplying the sawmills. We're turning that into a timber that we can use, and we're exporting it, and we're doing our best in a difficult situation.
Well, we have your good friend John Gibbons on very shortly, the environmental journalist, so we'll be interested to get his take on that as well. Let's talk about Gogglebox. You're a busy man. You sound like you're never out of the car. In meetings or whatever else. You sat down with Lucy Kennedy. You were put through the television that's on our screens at the minute.
Yes.
Did you enjoy it?
Well, I don't know anywhere would go with Lucy. God forgive me for saying it, but if we went to a funeral with Lucy, you'd enjoy it, because she's...
That's not saying much for the television now you're watching. You weren't paid for the shows, were you?
She's great entertainment herself. And look, it was an experience. One of the things we were watching at one stage, and we won't go into, of course, what we were watching, but I think that will be shown after the watershed.
Casual, Michael, look at you.
But it was a bit risque. There was some risque
well,
stuff
that's what I was
there,
just going to
wasn't
say.
there?
Do you ever remember the song The Streak?
Right.
And do you remember where the man is shouting, Ethel, Ethel, close your eyes, don't look? Well, at one stage I had my cap off and I was trying to cover her eyes so that she couldn't see what was on the television, but she was insisting and started peeking out like this.
I think Lucy's seen worse than that.
Yeah. So, no, it was, some of the things we saw were like watching paint dry, and they were that exciting. And other things now, to be honest, were interesting. There's a couple of very serious, thought-provoking things on it. There was one man who his life changed overnight and he had special requirements, and we watched what was done for him. That was serious stuff. And then there was the light-hearted stuff where I was
Do you like the public seeing that side of you as well? Because sometimes we give politicians a hard time and we're kind of like, you always have to be, we're always like, what were they doing? What were they having? How dare he sit down for a few hours and watch the telly? Like, you are multifaceted. People have to be able to do things.
I'd make no apology to anybody for, because I had my phone with me, and in between all the thing, I was taking calls, and I'm like, I don't exactly be swanning around the place. So to sit down and do something for a bit of fun and a bit of crack like that. There's nothing in the world wrong with that. Like, you know, we're all going to die sometime. We're not getting out of this alive. So if we can have a bit of crack as well. And in fairness to Lucy, she's like a breath of fresh air. Now she's
Are you going to be doing something again?
She's high
Potentially the
maintenance.
two, because you did the Living with Lucy before. You're
Yeah.
doing the Gogglebox. You two have a nice relationship. Is there Living with?
I'll tell you the way I'll answer that. I can't tell you because there is, but you'll have to ask her, because if I was to tell you, she'd kill me. So
Oh, there is.
you'll have to talk to her about that.
Is she moving in with you again?
Living in the forest. It's all about the forest now, you see.
That's it. That would be good.
I can't say, but yes, there is something, but you'll have to bring her on and interrogate her, because if I was to leave the cat out of the bag, I'd be finished.
You'd be in
I
trouble.
don't think you just have to ask Lucy a question. She'll tell you. It'd be fine.
Listen, Michael Healy-Rae, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Celebrity
Thanks.
Gogglebox course is on tonight at 9 o'clock. You're going to be on the whole host of stars. We're all on it. Just looking forward to it. It's going to be a great crack. Michael,
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thanks very much.
Thanks so much.